Hello, everybody, and welcome to our new workshop about Git and GitHub commit to collaborate. I'm sure that everyone here is excited about this workshop. And before going to our amazing presenters, let's start by I will start by presenting myself. So I'm Amel Khiri, a part of Jubix. I'm a full stack developer and also a member of the marketing team. So uh, if I want to talk a little bit about the Global Tech Sprint Leadership Program, GTLRP, I would say that it is currently 80% of our participants have got job and further opportunities from being promoted and referred. So we have one of our MT members from Ghana, which is currently in Canada, and another one is in the US. So we're making a real impact globally. The Global Tech Sprint Leadership Recruitment Agency, GTLRA, is an agency where our um, participants are referred to as sprinters and get awarded with a leadership award based on contribution and commitment. The GTLRA leads with transparency and shared learning to provide the world with a diversified recruitment agency that advocates inclusive change across all markets to shared financial equity across platforms. So our mission is to provide this service for internationally, both within and outside schools and universities, to drive innovation, shared knowledge, and facilitate cross-border leadership, thus paving the way for a brighter, more interconnected future. And so let's now go to our first speaker. Uh, our speakers, Andrea and
Hello, Mel.
Vladimir. Hello, hello. Yeah, okay.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Thank you, Mel, for that amazing presentation. And first of all, I want to thank Jubix for giving us the opportunity to do this workshop. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Susan, for helping us with all this work. I am Vladimir Pascal. I am a full stack developer from Peru. I am the lead of the QA team on Jubix and also a developer. In there, we are creating cutting edge applications so everyone can have an opportunity on their ideas and on their talent. If you want to know more, please join on Friday on our product presentation. Today, Andrea and me, we're going to talk about Git and GitHub. These are tools that we all, especially on software development, take for granted, but are the pillars of everything we do. Without this, it's impossible, completely impossible to work remotely and collaborative. So let's start, shall we? What is GitHub? GitHub is a cloud-based Git repository. We're going to see a little bit more about Git in a bit, but it's a place on the web where we can have all our projects. How it's stored, how we use it, we're going to dive in a little bit now. What is a repository? It's a folder, it's a container where we have all the information, where we have all our code and how it's supposed to work, all the rules, everything we do, and much, much more. We can have two kind of repositories on GitHub. We can have public and we can have private. What is the difference? Well, private just you can see, and public is access to the whole world. If you want to share this, we usually recommend having some kind of license so everyone knows how this can be shared. In here, we can check how we create a repository. We have to put the repository name, we have to select if it's public, if it's private. We have to always, always, please always add a README because the thing about GitHub, it's collaboration. It's working with different people. And To be able to do this, we need to understand standards. We need to understand rules. And README is the window, is the door to get this. Once we have our repository, we have two ways to work on with this. We can fork someone else's repository. It means that we're going to copy the exact code and viewing settings that this repository has to our own profile. And from there, we can clone the fork repository or our own. Clone means that we're going to copy the repository on our local computer. Remember, GitHub is a cloud-based application, web application. So we have everything shared there, but we work locally. As you can see here, I have different parts that makes the repository in GitHub. It's not just as you see the code. This is how you see the code. How many commits, when was the last time it was commit, who was the last person that made a change. It's not just that. It has way much more. How we can create a wiki on how we are going to work. We can secure it on what can be changed, who can change it. We can create project on it. We can make automatic changes with GitHub Actions that we're going to see in a bit. And our guest speaker is going to dive in even more. And everyone that has worked remotely understand the basic best practices for this. We know that we have to create branches. We have to understand that we cannot do changes to the main root of our work. If you want to know a little bit more about this, please comment so we can create more workshops, we can create more tutorials to teach you about this. But it's all of this. And as I said, the README is the window, is the eyes of your repository, of your project. In here, you put all the information, how it works, what you need, how you run, anything you need, you think is necessary. Licensing, everything. And let's continue. I mentioned that GitHub is a cloud-based Git repository. But what is Git? Andrea is going to explain more in depth about this. But for now, let's say it's a tool to to version control. What does it mean? It creates traceability. You can see who makes changes, when it was done, what people changed, everything, so you know what's going on with your project. Nothing takes you by surprise. And if one moment something breaks, you know where to go back. So every time you do a change on this shared repository, you create a new version of this project. You create a new version. So if something happens, you know where to come back. You know how to come back. To be able to work with a version control, especially with GitHub, we have to understand three main commands that we use in GitHub. Andrea is going to explain a little bit more about other commands that are amazing. But for now, let's see this. Commit, pull, and push. As I said, we have two versions, cloud and local. We work on the local. We want to create a new feature. We want to fix a bug. We want to change something. We want to change the UI, the UX, doesn't matter. We have to work locally. Once our work is done, we we commit. It means that we are ready with this change. Everything that we did is going to create a new version, and we are ready to commit to the shared repository, so everyone can have access to this. And how we sync up this commit? Pushing. Once the changes has been committed on our local repository, we push this so everyone can have access to this. And as we do changes, everyone else can do. As I said, this is collaborative. We work together. And how we get the information that someone else push? Pulling. We use this command to get information. So everyone has the same information. Everything is transparent. Everything is there. So everyone knows what's going on. standardization, and common ground. This is basic best practices of GitHub. In here, it's a crazy, crazy graph. I know. Don't worry. But this is how what I explained is showing this graphic. We have our shared repository that in this case is our personal GitHub repository that everyone has access if it's public or if it's private, just the person that you have put as contributors. You create a local repository just for you. I work with Andrea. Andrea has their own local clone. So she can work on there. I can work on mine. We make changes. I work in one file, Andrea works in another. We make changes, we create new files. One say, you know what? Now it's a good moment to have a new version. Everything is working. I make the commit. I create a new version. But as I said before, everything is local. GitHub is a cloud base. After that, I push. And once I push, well, Andrea wants to have this new version they have. She have to pull. This is the basis of GitHub. This is the basis of the workflow of this amazing application. I said cloud-based, web-based. Well, actually, it's not just that. GitHub is a complete environment. And at the end of my presentation, we're going to see that it's not just repository. It's not just version control, but version control is amazing. That's why it's the most used in the whole world. They also have application for your computer or standalones. So you don't have to get to the web. You don't have to open the GitHub website to work on it. These are a screenshot of this. In here, there is an application called GitHub Desktop that you can have on Windows, and you can work. You have all your repositories, your local repositories, and you can check the history, all the commits having changed, what change have been done, all the information. So as I said, I'm going to repeat myself: standardization and collaboration. This is the basis of GitHub. But you don't want to install a new application, or you have Mac OS, you have Linux, you cannot install GitHub Desktop. You can also integrate with your own IDE. Like for example, in here we have Visual Basic Code. You can also integrate with your Ellipse or whatever IDE you favor. Collaboration, best practices, common ground. These are words that I'm going to repeat. It's not that I don't know anything else to say, but I want you to have this on your mind. I want you to understand, to feel like me the importance of this, because with this we save time. With this we save conflicts. With this we work better. We understand us better. We may not speak the same language, but when we work with amazing collaboration. We have amazing collaboration. We can have this amazing development without any issues. And part of the best practices is creating a pull request. It's a special kind of commit that we create where we say, you know what? I create these changes. These are the specific of the changes. Please, someone check this. This is the basic rules of behavior on GitHub. That's why people use it so much. That's why it's easy. That's why any future software starts here. I told you at the beginning that GitHub is not just Git repository, it's much more. It's a tool that helps you save you time avoiding conflicts, save you time making automatized automatic actions. You automate actions, you automate commands, so you don't need to do this repeatedly once again, another, because our mind is fragile. I can forget. Andrea can forget. Amel can forget. We all can forget. So we create, as I said, rules, common ground, and we say, you know what? Every time we're going to push, every time we're going to create something, we need to test. We need to check that the format is the correct. We need to see if the same rules is going to apply to everyone. Is everyone is using. Imagine every time we make a change of codes, 100 lines, 1,000 lines, checking this can be annoying, tiring, and inefficient. So we create we use action tools, GitHub Actions. So all of this is done. We specify how we do it, when to do it, and why we do it. In here, we can see what are the parts of GitHub Action. As I said, we something happened and a command runs. We have an event that triggers an action. We have the environment that this action runs on, and we have the actions that it's going to run. We can have many running environments. We can have many commands to run. Here I have a simple example that you can find on the GitHub page that you're just checking the version of the bots system file. You're going to you specify which version you're using, and you're checking. You have different commands. You install Node.js, you see what's going on, and you run a command. This might sound weird. I'm going to show you now some real life application. As I said, on Jubix, we're building some cutting edge tools for so everyone can use. And in here, we have some of the GitHub actions we use. This is the most simple one we have. This is just to check that the rules we're using is the same, the linters. If you don't know, as I said, ask in the comments. We're here to help, and we can create tutorials for you. And on the right, we have a much more complex, but as I said, automatic action, where once you push to our main branch, that is where everything, when it's done, is there, everything is working perfectly, is going to deploy. So we can have, for example, if it's a web application, we can have deployed. All of this done automatically. I'm not going to be deploying every time I make a commit. I'm not going to run the linters every time I make a commit. You know how much time we save using this? It's a lot. It's a lot. And finally, I told you guys, this is not just a Git repository. It's an environment. We have so much more. It's practically a social media. It's a school for developers. You have GitHub education where you have amazing, amazing lessons. You have amazing tools that comes with GitHub. You can create projects, agile projects, Scrum projects. You can create organization for the company you work for. The company that you work can create this. You and your friends are planning to do a startup, are planning to work together. You create organization. You're amazing doing code. You are amazing working on open source. People can sponsor you, and you can say, you know what? I have sponsors. I am that good, and way much more. GitHub has GitHub Copilot that is their own AI tool. This is just a surface. GitHub has so much more to offer that I will need 20, 30, 40 minutes lessons and a lot of lessons just to go deep. But for now, we have this. If you want more, please put the comments. And now go with you, Andrea.
Thank you so much, Vladimir, for that amazing presentation. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Git and GitHub workshop. Let me introduce myself. My name is Andrea. I come from Spain. I'm currently working as a team lead, full stack developer at Jubix, and I want to share with you guys that this has been an amazing opportunity. I have learned a lot, and not just about programming, but also about collaboration and communication. And I want to use this opportunity to thank all the Jubix team, and a special thank you to Susan to make this possible. So today I'm going to talk about Git. As my colleague Vladimir has said, Git and GitHub, they are coming together, but Git is also a version control system that helps developers to manage and track the changes of a project. Allows multiple developers to collaborate in the same project, and the difference with GitHub is that we have our local project that we can run offline with Git. So we have the Git basics. Vladimir has talked about the commit, about the push, the pull, I won't be stopping much in here because I want to talk about more intermediate concepts, but I'm going to do a demo and I'm going to explain every command. We have our working directory, our local directory, and we have the remote repo. In this case, it would be in GitHub. It can also be hosted in GitLab. So what is happening is an interaction between my local repository, my local project. When I do some changes, I have to send it to the cloud, to the GitHub repository. So all my colleagues we are all working in the same project can grab it and do some changes, and we are all in the same step, as Vladimir has explained. Really good. So the 3 commits, basic commits to bring my local changes of the project to the remote repository will be git add, git commit, and git push. I will explain them later. In the other hand, we want to bring all the changes that my colleagues have done in the remote repository into my local repository, and then we have git merge, git fetch, and git pull. Difference between git pull is that it's doing the fetch of the changes and the merge of the changes. I want to talk about git stash that is happening locally, but it's really useful and not everybody knows it, and I think it's important to consider. So when do we run git stash? Imagine we have a project and we have done some changes, but we consider those changes are not ready to send them in the remote repository. We are in the middle of a bug. We are trying to figure it out what to do, or we have a lot of dirty code that we don't want to send it to the remote repository. But we need to change branch. We are working in our navigation branch, for example, and our colleague asked to go to his branch that he's working in the footer, but you don't want to send those changes on the remote repository. So what we do, git stash. Let me show you a little demo of how to do it. So now here we have our Genos restaurant HTML project, right? And we have some section, footer, something like that. Okay, so let's do some changes. Let's add the footer a bit above, like 20, for example. And then a way to do, now we are, sorry, I didn't say it. We are in the navigation branch. So we don't want to send this yet because I didn't check how it looks like. But my friend is asking me to go to his branch and check something. So one way to do it will be git stash and enter. And you see, the change has disappeared. Now is in the stash place. So what else we can do? Let's change the color of this, right? We can also git stash, and more recommended. I don't know if you are seeing this. I hope, yeah. So we can do a stash like this, git stash save, and then a commit message. We can say change background color of the footer. We press enter and we see that the change has disappeared. Okay, now we went to the other branch of our colleague, and then we want to come back and we realize that we want one of those changes to apply one of those changes. One way it will be, we can go to see the list of git stash list, the list of all the stash that we have. So here we have git stash 0 on navigation bar, on navbar, that's the branch, change background color of the footer, and then we have another one that we didn't name, but we have it here. So the last stash that we have done will be the 0, and then the first one will be the 1. So imagine that we want the, let's take this one. So we want to apply it. So we can use git git stash pop, and then we paste the number, and here we are. It appears here. So now let's send it to our branch. So we want this change. So now we want to send it to the remote repository. So we add it. First, we add the file. Git add and dot is to add all the changes. So we add them. Then we add a commit message like this. Change background color to red of footer. And then git push. Git push, and then we have to specify where we want to push it in our branch. Our branch is called navbar. We see it here, git push origin navbar. Okay, I add my password, and there it is. Now, we also have another way to do it. So git stash apply, it will apply the latest stash that we have done. So let's do it. Oh, sorry. Git stash apply. And we can see now we have kept this change because now it's in our branch. And we have the button 20. Now, we realize that we don't want this change of the bottom 20. So we can clear git stash clear. And now if we go to the list, git stash list, there are not. Another way to clear will be, sorry. So git stash. Let's make this change and then git stash really quick. And then git stash list. We have it here. So another way to clean it, to delete it, will be git stash drop, and the name of the and is drop. Okay, so that everything I want to say about the stash. I also want to talk about the 3 ways that we have for integrating the commits that we are doing, the changes that we are doing into our branches. We have 3 ways: git merge, git rebase, and git squash. The most popular will be git merge, but let me explain you the other 2 and the difference that there are between them. Let's start with git rebase. As I say, it's a way of integrating the commits, the changes that we do into our branches. So let me explain. We have a main branch. We have the main branch that we are working on. And then we have 3 commits in that branch. We have commit A, commit B, and commit C. Then we open a feature branch. Let's say we are going to do a navigation bar. We do 3 commits on that branch. So we do commit D, commit E, and commit F. And we have finished that feature branch, and it's the moment to integrate our branch into the main branch so everybody can have it. So one way to do it is rebase. Another 2 ways to do it is merge and squash, as I said. So what is rebase doing? Is grabbing these commits, rewriting them, and building on top of main branch. So when you check the commit history of main branch, you are going to see all the commits, and they are not going to make a difference between the branch that you were at. I'm going to explain it in a demo as well. So when can we use git rebase? So git rebase is a good tool to maintain a linear project history. For example, a bug was introduced in the main branch, and we need to use git bisect that we will talk about in another workshops. So it will be easier to go through all the commits that are built on top of the main branch other than going to the feature branches. Git squash is also a way of integrating our changes into the main branch. But the difference here is that, for example, we have done this main branch with IAB commits. Then we have our feature branch. Let's say this time is a footer feature branch. We are doing a footer, and then we have commits D, E, and F. And it's the moment to integrate them in our main branch. And we have choose Git squash. So what is happening is all these three commits are going to squash them, being squashed, and just one commit is going to appear in the commit history of the main branch. And when you do it, you can choose the name of your commit. So one commit for all the commits that you have. This is also helping for keeping a clean commit history, but is also losing a lot of details. When to use each of one? I haven't talked about merge. So what is merge doing? So imagine we have rebase and squares. I already explained how it works. So merge works in a similar way. We have our main branch with our three commits. Then we create a navigation featured branch. We are doing three commits. It's the moment to integrate it to main branch, and we choose merge. So when we choose merge, it generates a new commit that says feature navigation branch has been merged into main branch. And we will see the three comments. So at the end, when a lot of people is working in the same project and they are doing different branches and different commits, when you go to the commit history, it's a mess. So it's more dirty, it's more complicated to keep a clean commit history. So when to use each of them, it depends the workflow of your project. I'm just explaining the three of them. You can choose the three of them, but you have to consider that merge, the pros of merge is that preserves the commit history as it is, but it's more messy to look at it. The pros of rebase and squash is that you have a clean and linear commit history, but it reduces traceability, so it will be harder to know in which branch you did this commit, for example. But let's stop talking theory and let's jump into the practice. For that, I'm going to my navigation bar of my Gino's restaurant, and I have already my navbar branch, so let's create more links. Let's create a link for the about section that we will develop in the future. And then we are going to push this. So git add, git commit, and the message commit. So add a about link into navbar. And then we push it. We push origin navbar. Okay, and now we go to our remote repository, and we have here already that something happened in our navigation bar. So we have some pushes a few minutes ago. So we create a pull request. This shouldn't be done like that. We always have to give a description pull request, but in this case, because of time being, I guess is the best option. So we have here our three commits, and here, in the moment we merge this branch into the main branch, we have three options. So let's go with the rebase and merge. Let's see what is happening. We confirm, and then we go to the commit history. So we go here, 22 commits, and then we see first commit, change background color to red of footer, and add about link. There are like three commits, like if we build these commits in the main branch. So let's see, git checkout. Let's see squash. Let's check squash. Sorry, what happens with squash? So for that, I'm going to go to my development branch. So for that, we need to do git checkout dev. We pull the latest change, as my friend was saying. So we grab the latest change of development because we have done some work. We have merged. So git pull origin dev. And like that is how we are going to have the changes. So we see a few changes have happened. And now we are going to create a new branch. So git checkout, and let's call it, let's delete what we can do. Yeah, here. Git checkout, and the name of the branch, let's call it section of the menu. Okay, and then we can create, I'm going to do something fast. So the menu title, and here the subs, we can add it, git add, git commit, add menu section, git push, origin section menu. Okay. Now let's do another commit. Let's do, I don't have much imagination, so let's do salads, salad 1. So let's do the same. Now we can do like this. We can combine git add dot and git commit, add sub into the section, and then git push origin section menu. Okay, so now let's go to our remote repository and let's do the same. So our section menu branch, compare and pull request. We create a pull request. And now we are going to choose squash and merge. Now we have 2 commits. We have done 2 commits. And now those 2 commits are going to be 1. So we can choose the name of this commit, and let's call add some content to the menu. Confirm squash and merge. And now let's go to the commit history of our dev branch, and we can see that we just have 1. And last but not least, let's do it with merge. Git, for that we need to git checkout again to the development, git pull origin dev. Let's create more divs. And here, now let's create salad 2 here. And here, desserts. Let's create a tiramisu. But this is going to be later. So let's add it to our remote branch. Git add, git commit. And so add more salad. Push. Ouch. I haven't created the branch, but we can do it now. Git checkout the more salad, and then git push origin more salad. Okay, let's create just the last commit, the desserts and tiramisu. Git add and git commit. Later, my colleague, my guest speaker, is going to show you how to combine these things to make it faster. So stay tuned. Git commit message add salad. Git push origin more salad. Now let's do the same. So we have our more salad branch ready to be created a pull request. We create a pull request, and then now we are going to choose when it's free. Yeah. Now we are going to choose create a merge commit, and we merge it. Confirm merge, and we see in our commit history what happened here. It has created a merge pull request 9 from the branch that I created, add salad and add more salad. So it's creating the commits, and it's creating a new commit that is saying that we have merged this branch into development. So that is for now with all I wanted to tell with you guys. But I want to use this opportunity to say, if you like it, we are really happy to make more and more workshops, because Git and GitHub is unlimited. We have a lot of things to learn, to explain you guys. So please, as my colleague Vladimir has said, if you like it, please say it in the comments. We will be creating more workshops. I'm going to learn much more to be able to show it to you, and Vladimir is going to do the same. Thank you so much, everybody, to come. And I will pass you over Amel right now.
Wow. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Vladimir. You were really amazing. And I also learned something new. And now I will lead you to our marketing team lead, Busua, that will present herself. Busua?
Thank you very
think
much,
about
Amel.
the
What an
workshop?
interesting presentation. Thank you. My name is Abuswal Yuma, and I'm from Zambia. I'm a front-end engineer. But at Jubix, I'm the team marketing lead, and I'm so excited to be here. What did you think of the presentation, Amel?
It was amazing. It was amazing, really.
Yes, indeed it was. I learned a lot as well. Okay. So does the audience have any questions on our first presentation on the GTLRA or what we learned in the workshop? You can
I'm
post your
curious to
comments.
know what did you learn? As developers, we all work every day with Git and GitHub, but what did you learn today from our workshop?
Yes,
Even
indeed.
if it's a small thing, just share it in the comments, please. Usua, I guess we can, yeah.
You can go ahead. Yes, I think our developers know how to work well with GitHub. I'm sure GitHub would be very impressed. Yes.
Yeah.
So we can now go ahead. I think we have a guest speaker here who is with us today. And her name's Clariel Larissa Andrenosia. Very lovely to have you here. You can just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you, Buzia, and thank you, Amel. But especially thank you, Andrea, for this food talk. Now I'm getting hungry. And okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Larissa, and I'm from Madagascar. And I'm a software developer. I build product, I build website. I can help everyone for that. And today I'm gonna uh, introduce you to my two heroes, which are Git Alice and Git Action. I'm not gonna expand on them because Andrea and Vladimir already talk a lot about them already. So I'm just gonna do some demo, and then you can see that how it helps me in my, like it saves a lot of time. Like when I code daily and get aliases and GitHub actions. Awesome. Okay, let me just start here. Okay, so why alias? Why do I just want to present alias here? So first of all, it's about productivity. It just speed up your workflow as a developer, and then reduce the keystrokes, and you can customize it like whatever you want. Even I can just git add, just have git Larissa. That's possible, but that doesn't even make sense. But yeah, and it's readable. You know that you've worked with what is that? You've worked with command line, and some of them are just like when you said for the first time, it's like gibberish, right? So if you can create your own, why don't you do it, right? For example, here, Git ACP. This is what I want. I will create later on, and this one, this long. Uh, just looking at it, I'm just looking at it, and okay. Let's just go on with the demo, and you will see how some is this. Okay, let me just go to my VS Code. Here we go. Let's start from creating our. Ooh, first of all, let me just show you this. When you create a Git alias, remember you are gonna change the configuration of your Git and where it is located. In my, for example, in my computer here, it's in the home directory. Let me just uh, let's cut this one here. It's git config. In this git config here. Oh yeah, right now I have already AC here. I'm gonna just delete that. Oh no, I'm not gonna delete that. I'm just gonna create another one. Okay, let's create git add plus git commit and then git push. That's one. Those three commands are something. This is how you create git config and then dash dash global. Don't forget the global. If you forget the dash dash global, then what you are gonna rewrite again and again your what is it your aliases, and that's not practical. So let's just create alias, and then this here after here your A for add, C commit, and then P push. Well, this one here it's you can change it whatever you want, but ACP is makes more sense, right? I can make it ALC, well, but I'm not gonna do that. ACP is better, right? And okay, so here we are gonna have a shell function. This is how you create it, guys. So F function here. Oops. Oh yeah, this is why I really like aliases. I'm not a fast typer. I'm so bad at typing. So I need aliases. Unless people will get mad at me when we are pair programming. Like what is she even doing? Right? So I have to create things so that people won't get mad at me. Yeah. So here we go. Oops. That's yeah. Oops. Yeah. Exactly why I need aliases in my life. Look, I'm so bad at typing. And then git commit dash. Yeah. And then this one here is for yeah. This will substitute this variable. This will substitute the message commit. And let's say here git push. Yeah. And then semicolon. So okay, I have to add this here again. Yeah, another semicolon, right? I think so. I hope so. Yeah, I think I'm done. Yeah, that is it. Let's just see if I've added it in our config file. Oh yeah, congratulations, Larissa. And yeah, let's try to use it. Let's try to use it. Because I'm gonna do some demo about something, so I'm just gonna create the file that I'm gonna use later on, so we won't waste a lot of time here. So let me just create something here. Make the libs the library where I'm gonna use, and then inside I'm gonna create a file. Yeah, demo the article. Yep. So yeah, voila. So I'm gonna commit it, add it, commit it, and push it on the repo. So, look at this. This is the fun part. Git ACP create create the demo file. And voila! Look at this. It's so easy. Like ACP instead of Git add. Yeah, you saw it when Andrea did it. It was too much. And yeah. Whoops. Okay, now it's bad. Like we are having an error. I think I'm having an error with. Let me just look at that. Let me just download the file. Git. So it's a function git. Oh, I think I forgot the space between. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay. Let me just create it again. There it is. Here it is. ACP. Yeah. Let me just delete the file first. Now, no. It's not. Yeah. Let's do that. Slash git config. Oh, this is what we always have. Like we are developers always having bugs. Yeah, that's our breakfast. So it's not really new. Let me just delete this. Yeah, right. And then yeah, and then just where was it? Yeah, here we go. I'm just gonna add. Okay, let's say this is a function shell. Get add all. Get commit. Push. Yes, right. Yeah, I think I'm doing everything's right here. Yeah. Well, let's hope that I'm doing it right this time, because you won't have to. Ha! Look at this. It is working. So I forgot the space. That's the bash thing. Huh? Yeah, that's the bash thing. I have to learn that. I have to learn that thing. So, okay, that is done. Look at it was really great. So that is how you create aliases, and I've showed you already how to check out like the aliases, the list of the aliases, right? You have to understand that. So let's go to the something more important. Well, it's not more important, but as much important as the aliases. So, oh yeah, here's something. Ooh, yes, homages. I've showed you how to create your own aliases, right? But there is oh my Zish here. This thing here, it's an open project. I'm using it. Well, I've showed you how to use aliases, but I'm not using my own aliases. Actually, I'm using Omazish, and you can check this out, guys. Let me just show you. Actually, here, let me just show you. Here, these homages. Look at this one here. They have bunches of aliases. Uh, I'm gonna share with you in the comment the link of the slide later on so that you can look at this, or you can just use Google or ChatGPT. Why not? And yeah, see, GA, Git add all, everything's already here. It's yeah, you don't have to start from scratch again. So just use all message, or you can create your own, whatever you want. Uh, yes. So now let's go back to the business here. So let's talk about GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions. So yes, we know it is awesome. So I'm not gonna talk more about how awesome it is. Vladimir already did that, so I'm not gonna spend more time on it anymore. So here you go. We have two things, the most important things about GitHub Action. We listen to the event. For example, pushing to a branch is an event. Creating an issue is an event. PR created here is an event. Merging to a branch is an event. There are a lot of events, like there is a third party thing as well, for example, linting and everything. And when those actions, like those events happen, then we trigger a workflow here. We trigger a workflow. So I will just do that here. Let me just demonstrate here. Should I demonstrate? Oh, let's demonstrate on GitHub. Yes. See, I have it already opened. So this Ruby project that I created, a simple one, like just. No, that is funny actually, because now let me just refresh because I have already committed something, right? Yeah, this is the last thing I did. We should have checked those, like it was. Yeah, so we create the libs and demo, and I'm gonna create a GitHub actions. Like this is a demo of GitHub actions, like how awesome it is. Look at this. Here in this tab, actions here. Yeah, they're already suggesting template. You can create your own from scratch, but you can use those as well. So I'm gonna use Ruby here, the build and test a Ruby project with break. I'm gonna configure this one here, and then I'm just tweak a little bit. Yeah, see, this is how it works. Like the name, the Ruby here. This is the event that trigger the workflow. Like on push on the branch main, then we are gonna trigger those jobs. Or on pull request on the branch main, we are gonna trigger those jobs here. And the jobs we are gonna have here is those. Yeah, we are gonna run this bundle exec right here. This is what we are gonna do. We are gonna test. Right? Okay. Yes, here is the version that we are gonna test it, but I'm gonna change this one because I'm using 3.2.2. I'm just gonna go with 3.2, and then I'm gonna remove all of this. But you can use it if you're using 2.7 or 2.6, but I just want to remove it. So yeah, voila. I'm gonna commit this. Let's create. Let me just make it more meaningful. Create GitHub action. Is that more meaningful than GitHub? I'm not sure. Well, create GitHub actions here. And then I will commit directly on the main here. Yes, I'm committing to the production. Whatever that is. So again, I'm gonna go back here and just get through that change. Oh, don't forget to get pull when you start to work. Yeah, oops. And yeah. So yes, here I go. We are going to, what is it? Oh yeah, we are going to test the power of GitHub action. In this case, we are going to test automatically. So I'm going to create a test file for our demo file we just created. So let's say I'm gonna create test directory, and then within the test directory, I'm gonna create touch demo test.rb. Yeah, this one here, right? And then I'm gonna come back to my not lib. Let's just come back to the parent instead. Yeah. Okay, we are. Oh, where is my test? Because I was in the. Oh, I'm just gonna drag and drop here. Yep. Voila. Okay, I'm gonna just create something so simple. A plus B. Who doesn't know that, right? Okay, def sum of A, B. Yeah. And down here, it will return A plus B. Easy. And I'm gonna create a test for this one here. So we're gonna require mini test because I'm using mini test. So I'm gonna put it around here. I think. Yeah, and they require. Yeah, let's require relative. What? Lips. Demo. Yeah, the demo file. Yeah, and I'm gonna create a class definition. I'm gonna name it demo test. This would inherit mini test. Test. Right? I think it's test. This right? Yeah, just like this. And within it, I'm gonna have a definition. Test sum. That's the name of our test sum. Yeah. Let's assert. Oh, let's assert equal instead. Let's assert equal 5. Okay. Sum of 2 and 3. Yeah. Normally it should work. Yeah, this is a simple hypothetically working, but you never know if. Okay, I'm just gonna push that online. Right, let me just push. Remember, I'm gonna remind you about our trigger event here. The trigger event is push on the branch main. That's the trigger here. Push on the branch main. So we are gonna push this directly on the branch main, and then let's see what happens. So let's get ACT. We are gonna use the aliases we created. Create test file for what's the name? Yeah. So let's see here, and then let's go to our yeah. GitHub actions here. Okay. So we have, you can see here that dot, the orange dot, meaning that there is an action. Yes, like there is some check. Let's go to the detail here so we can see more about it. Like it's setting up the job, running the action checkout V. Oh, you can see here, this action checkout here. Let's look at this more closely, right? It's this one here, right? Yeah. And then we set up Ruby, runs test. And I think it's, yeah, you can see that it's checked. So we don't have any failure. But let's say that we have a failure, like instead of plus, this one here, instead of plus, we have minus, right? And then this should be -1, not 5, meaning that our test fails. So let's do this. Let me just say something here. What is something that's meaningful then? Create a failing test. No, not the failing. Yeah, the failing test. Yes, and then I will go there, and then let's go to the what is it again? This one. Let's go back here. You can see here we are having it's checking. We are waiting. Yeah, we need to be patient, as a developer. Yeah, I'm not really a patient field, but yeah. Let's create a failing. Yoo-hoo! See? Well, that's the first time I'm so happy that something fails. Yeah, create a failing test. And ooh, yeah, you can see now why GitHub action is important, right? Like imagine you want to open a pull request. You want to open a pull request. Ooh, I should have just opened a pull request, but yeah, we don't have time for that. But yes, if you want to open a pull request, then uh, like requesting a review from your peers. Then that before requesting the review, you just noticed beforehand that, oh, I'm failing. Like there is something failing there, so I have to fix this before requesting something. So yes, that is all for my demo. I hope that it was useful. Well, it's I'm telling you it is something that I'm using a lot every day. So yay! Okay. Oh, okay. Should I stop sharing or just like that? Oh, do you like looking at this failure here?
Yes, it was amazing. Thank you so much. We have learned a lot.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Clarielle. It was really, 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 I don't know. I learned a lot too. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Larissa. Interesting presentation. I learned a lot as well. Stuff I didn't know, even though I've been a developer for some time. Okay, so we have a couple of questions we would like to ask you, Larissa, just based on your understanding of what you believe is the future of work, innovation, and leadership. And Amel will now go on to ask you those questions.
Okay, so these questions
Go ahead.
are okay. Thank you. Are about GitHub and Git, but more general way. It's not really technical or specific. I would like to ask you, for example, what ethical consideration arise from the use of Git and GitHub in the workplace, particularly in terms of code ownership and attribution?
Okay, thank you for that question. Uh, the ethical, you are asking about ethical consideration, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
ethical consideration in code ownership and attribution revolve around recognizing and crediting individual contribution. Organizations should cultivate a culture that acknowledges and attributes code authorship accurately. This includes what is it? This includes addressing issues of transparency. That's where commit history comes in. Then privacy and fostering a collaborative uh, environment where everyone's contributions are valued. Oh yes, that is all. I think is that
Thank
enough?
you. Okay, thank you, thank you. Yeah, my second question is okay, more specific. I'm curious just to know how do you currently manage and organize your code changes locally before committing?
My workflow individually, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Normally, uh, well, I've learned that from seniors actually. Just commit a lot but just a little bit. Because if you want to revert, like refactor, it will be easier. Like I saw a lot of, when I could review people's repo, I saw a lot like just a bunch everything's in just one commit. That's, I mean, they are brave. I'm not that brave actually. Like imagine there's something there and then you unstage everything. Oh my goodness, that's so. Yes, I just commit a lot, but just a little bit, like even a little change. You see, a little change, so I can. It's easy for me to fix something if there is something wrong, and it's easy to detect where something. Like for example, there's always bug, and it's easy to detect where that bug wanted to enjoy my code base.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
that's
totally
it.
agree. I totally agree. I commit a lot too, and sometimes I say, "Oh, maybe I'm overcommitting if
No,
it's
no,
the
there's no
word to
such thing,
use."
I think.
Yeah, but it's easier, as you said, to find bugs or to revert. You know, things.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, so what's your preferred workflow, or are you open to experiment
My
in Git and
preferred
GitHub?
work
Yeah.
and get. Mm, what do you mean? Like, can you be more
Do
precise,
you
please?
have a preferred workflow? I mean, do you have a preferred Git workflow, sorry, Git workflow, or are you open to exploring different strategies?
Oh, okay. Um, I'm always, even if it's on my personal, even if it's on my personal project, I always use GitHub, GitHub flow. That's I don't know. You yes. For some for those who don't know about that, you have your membranes. You don't touch your membrane. Well, I did that. Well, I did that during the demo, but yeah, that was just a demo. But
Yeah,
yes, don't comment directly on the demo. I always uh, uh, do everything on my dev and ask my friends because I have a lot of dev friends to review my code before merging because we are biased toward our code. Like, okay, this is perfect, but it's not. So yes,
amazing,
that's
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you
Exactly.
so much, Clarielle. So I'm asking the same last question to Andrea and Vladimir. What's your preferred Git workflow?
Yeah, I think we have learned from the same place at Microbase Bootcamp, so we all know the same workflow. Recently, I'm learning new, different workflows, so I would like to see what other options are. And today, presentation was a good way to learn other things. But yeah, I think commit often, open pull requests, ask for review, merge it. Um, Now I'm going to use Git stash. I was not using because I didn't know how it was working. So sometimes when I wanted to go to another branch, I was just stashing, but then I was never coming back to the stash, and then I was remaking everything again. So now I think I'm gonna use it. What about you, Vladimir?
Well, actually, I always try to always put Git on my workflows, put linters, check, and format whenever I commit. And if I already have tasks whenever I'm going to do development or main. So with that, I prevent any kind of silly mistakes. You know, those are doesn't matter if it's in Python. I create my environment to check out the links, and then I create a flow, the workflow.
Thank you, Vladimir. Thank you, Andrea. So my let's say last question for you all, okay, and even for our audience, is how can organizations effectively integrate Git and GitHub into their workflows to enhance productivity and knowledge sharing?
I think our guest speaker should go first.
Really? Okay.
Yes, if you want. I can.
Okay. The question is how
Git and GitHub?
to integrate Git and GitHub within the organization, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
uh, we can integrate what's it, the Git and GitHub into our workflows, into the organization workflow to enhance productivity by focusing on the practical aspects, like this one here, this what we are doing here, like this what this Jubik's doing today, giving a workshop, like practical thing. There are a lot of people here actually, I think, that learned a lot about But I've learned about squash. But I just know about squashing bugs. But yeah, this Git squash is something new I've learned today. So it's practical. And then I hope that the analysis was practical as well. And then that's the way we do it to integrate. And then creating, I think it's cool as well. Creating a more, what is it? Uh, more, okay. I think I forgot the term that I want to use. A simple documentation, those simple documentation that you can share within your organization, because you are it's basically Git and GitHub is based on the distributed teamwork
Mhm.
over the world. That's the base of it, and we come from diverse origin, and then not everyone. Yes, we speak English because that's um, the language that we share here, but we are not all native. Like I'm not native. I don't know who is
Yeah.
native here, but we should create like the organization should create a documentation that easier to read, so that for everyone it's easy for them to learn. So that's the way. I think that's the way to introduce Get and Get Up within the organization. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, very. Thank you so much, Clariel. Do you have something to add, Vladimir, Andrea?
Yeah, of course. Has has QA one of my main concern is standards, and being developer helps me a lot with that. Git helps create traceability. We know when everything happens. We know who is doing. There is something that even is called blame on Git and GitHub that allows you to know who made the change. It's not guilting someone, but it's just let you know who made the change, so you know who you go to talk to if something change. But it's not just about that. As I said on my presentation, a repository it's a toolbox. It's a mix of different tools where you can standardize everything and everyone has the same ground rules: how you should commit, how you should create a pull request, how you should create an issue. If you find a bug, how you do it. If you have an open a public repository, how whoever goes to your profile can commit to that. It's open. And not just that, also how licensing works. So it's a tool that I believe it's even not well used. We have so much things to exploit that is not yet being used. But it's for that. It's standardization and say, you know what, we know how it's going, everything how it's going, and we we forget about our own opinion and we go through facts and we prevent real life conflicts. We just go to coding conflict that makes life easier.
Thank you, Vladimir. So now let's go to Busua, who have a lot of information to give us about Jubix. Busua?
Yes, indeed. And for those that have been frequently watching our sessions, you know that we never leave without giving you some good old Jubix goodies. So the first one I mentioned in the comments is that for every session that you attend, you'll be able to earn Juby points, which will lead you to rewards and prizes next year when we officially launch the Jubix platform. That's our first good news. We have more good news today. We want to let the audience know today that we're officially launching the Jubix platform early next year in January, and applications for candidates and companies will be available from January the 8th to February the 9th. And then from there, that would be the application time. And then from there, applications will be interview process from February the 5th to March the 4th. You'll be able to go through the interview process. And then from March the 10th to April the 1st, we'll be doing screening. So you are assured that next year you have something lined up for you, young candidates who are looking for job opportunities, but also for companies who are looking to expand and gain candidates for their firms. So that's what we have in store for you. So at this juncture, we want to ask the audience if anyone has got any questions, comments, queries, clarifications, or suggestions, inputs that we want to be able to hear from you.
I think the comments are coming with a bit of delay, so maybe people are commenting, but we will receive it when we are done.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Please feel free to go ahead and post your comment. And at this juncture, I believe that we have come to the end of our session. We're very excited to have you come through for us, Larissa. Thank you very much. Thank you, Vladimir.
Oh,
Thank you,
welcome.
Andrea. And thank you, Amel. It's a pleasure to have everyone here. And please, like I said, we have these weekly sessions every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Please come through and invite as many friends and colleagues as you
Next
can.
one, what is the next one?
So the next one we have is on Thursday, and the next one is looking at AI, artificial intelligence. Very exciting. We don't want to be left out on this very much needed topic of interest.
I look forward to it.
Yes, me too. Okay, so thank you everyone for coming. And like I said, please just comment, leave your comments and suggestions or input on the comments, and we'll be able to look through them. At this juncture, I think we all take our leave now. Thank you very much. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,